Today we explain all generations of fighter jets, from the clunky first attempts at jet power to the stealthy ninjas of the sky, and even the sci-fi swarms of the future. So let's dive right in.
First generation. This generation marks the dawn of the jet age, from the late 1940s to the early 1950s. The defining feature was the transition from piston engine propellers to turbojet engines. These aircraft were essentially jet-powered versions of World War II fighters. They were subsonic, armed primarily with machine guns or cannons, and had no radar or guided missiles. Their cockpits were simple, with basic analog gauges. Combat was purely visual, relying on the pilot's skill in a classic dogfight. The most famous matchup of this era was during the Korean War, pitting the American F-86 Sabre against the Soviet MiG-15.
So this was basically the awkward teenage phase of fighter jets, still figuring out who they are. No radar, no missiles, just dudes squinting through glass and hoping their aim was straight. Dogfights looked more like World War II with a caffeine boost, and wars suddenly turned into live-action Top Gun prototypes.
Second generation. Spanning the mid-1950s to the early 1960s, this generation was defined by a single obsession: speed. These were the first fighters capable of sustained supersonic flight, thanks to the development of afterburning engines. Technology advanced rapidly, introducing basic, short-range, air-to-air missiles, typically heat-seeking, and the first onboard radars, which were used for range-finding rather than searching. The prevailing military theory was that missiles would make dogfighting obsolete. So many of these jets, like the American F-104 Starfighter, often called a missile with a man in it, were designed as pure interceptors, sacrificing maneuverability for raw speed and altitude. The Soviet MiG-21 is another iconic example. Third generation.
This was the speed is everything era. Pilots basically strapped themselves to rockets with wings. Engineers thought dogfights were dead, so they built jets that flew straight, fast, and not much else. It's like designing a sports car that can only go in a drag race. Cool on paper, terrifying in practice.
The Vietnam War heavily influenced this generation, which dominated from the 1960s to the 1970s. Experience in Vietnam proved that dogfighting was not dead. This era saw the maturation of jet technology. While still incredibly fast, these fighters were the first true multi-role aircraft, capable of performing both air-to-air combat and ground attack missions. Their avionics became much more sophisticated, with powerful pulse Doppler radars that could track targets, and they carried more effective, longer-range guided missiles. However, they were generally large, heavy, and less agile than later designs. The American F-4 Phantom II is the quintessential third-generation fighter, a powerful workhorse used by the Air Force, Navy, and Marines.
That's crazy. This was the "oh wait, dogfights still matter" generation. Planes got fancy radars, better missiles, and could bomb stuff and shoot stuff, basically the Swiss Army knives of the skies. The catch? They were huge, heavy beasts, more flying refrigerators than nimble fighters, but hey, versatility beats just being fast.
Fourth generation. This generation, born in the mid-1970s and still forming the backbone of most air forces today, marked a revolutionary leap in maneuverability and electronics. The key innovation was the fly-by-wire flight control system, which used computers to translate the pilot's inputs, allowing for inherently unstable but incredibly agile aerodynamic designs. These jets were designed to be supreme dogfighters, featuring bubble canopies for excellent visibility and advanced radars capable of look-down/shoot-down engagement. Famous examples include the American Teen Series, the F-14 Tomcat, the F-15 Eagle, and the F-16 Fighting Falcon.
That's awesome. Here's where jets went full video game mode. Computers stepping in so the plane wouldn't just yeet itself out of the sky. Pilots suddenly had insane agility, bubble canopies for that IMAX view, and radars that could track enemies hiding below. Basically, the golden age of dogfighting swagger was born here.
Generation 4.5. This is a subcategory that represents fourth-generation airframes that have been upgraded with fifth-generation technology. These aircraft, produced from the 1990s onward, bridge the gap to the modern era. They do not have true, all-aspect stealth, but they often incorporate some stealthy materials to reduce their radar cross-section. Their primary upgrades are in avionics, featuring advanced AESA radars, early forms of sensor fusion, and networked data links that allow them to share information with other aircraft. Prominent examples include the Eurofighter Typhoon, the French Dassault Rafale, and the Russian Su-35 Flanker E.
This was basically the smartphone S upgrade phase. Same body, but way smarter on the inside. Jets got stealth sprinkles, radars that worked like 3D scanners, and could gossip mid-air by sharing data with each other. Not invisible ninjas yet, but definitely the overclocked PCs of the skies.
Fifth generation. Dominating the skies from the mid-2000s to the present, this generation is defined by one primary characteristic: all aspect, very low observability, or stealth. These aircraft are designed from the ground up to be nearly invisible to enemy radar. Beyond stealth, they are defined by their use of full sensor fusion, where data from all onboard and offboard sensors is processed by a central computer to give the pilot unprecedented situational awareness. They are also capable of supercruise, flying at sustained supersonic speeds without the use of fuel-guzzling afterburners. The philosophy is first look, first shot, first kill. The American F-22, Raptor, and F-35 Lightning II are the only combat-proven examples.
Now we're in the Ninja era. Jets designed to practically ghost past radar like they've got an invisibility cloak. Add in supercomputers crunching every sensor feed, so the pilot basically has Wall-E whispering in their ear. And with supercruise, they don't just sprint, they marathon at supersonic. First see, first shoot, game over.
Sixth generation. This generation is currently in development and is expected to enter service in the 2030s and beyond. It represents a shift from a single aircraft to a system of systems. These fighters are being designed to be optionally manned, capable of flying with or without a pilot. The pilot, whether on board or remote, will act as a battle manager, controlling a swarm of uncrewed, loyal wingman drones that fly alongside them for surveillance, electronic warfare, and attack. Key technologies will include advanced artificial intelligence, adaptive cycle engines, and the ability to network seamlessly with all forces across every domain: land, sea, air, space, and cyber. The major programs currently in development are the American NGAD, the British-led GCAP, and the Franco-German FCAS. Thanks for watching. What do you think the future of fighter jets will look like? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.
So the sixth generation isn't just about one jet. It's like turning the pilot into a real-life RTS commander, moving pieces across air, land, sea, space, and even cyber. Swarms of drones, AI co-pilots, engines that adapt on the fly. It's less Top Gun and more sci-fi chess match in the sky. The battlefield itself is becoming one massive interconnected web where whoever controls the data wins. Unclassified did an amazing job with this video. The link is in the description. And next time, let's just say we'll dive into something even wilder. Stay nerdy.